we explain the fall of Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon's war at land and sea against the British was a chief concern for the world. The American President Thomas Jefferson would cease trade with both sides in the Embargo Act, until they both agreed to leave American shipping alone. However, Napoleon's Grand Armée continued to push the Enlightenment across conservative Europe, ending the idea of nobility, church power, and feudalism. However, these actions also encouraged a growing sense of nationalism within the conquered. They began to unify previously ununified regions against the French. He took a step too far when he installed his brother Joseph as King of Spain, unseating an ally who'd fought with France since the beginning. This opened up the Peninsular War, a Spanish nationalist resistance movement that rejected the rule of France. The Grande Armée was hit by a wave of guerrilla attacks from 1808 to 1814. The attacks tended to be small hits on troops or supplies, usually funded and supplied by the British. Napoleon's industrial mass production, conscripted army, and mobile artillery couldn't hold up against Spanish ghosts that would hit the army and then melt into the countryside. Austria felt emboldened by the Spanish and attacked the French forces again. However, they lost at the Battle of Wagram and lost land to Italy. Then Napoleon increased the boundaries of the Duchy of Warsaw, cutting up more of Prussian and Russian territory, which provoked Tsar Alexander I to break his alliance with France and start trading with Britain, violating Napoleon's continental system. In response, Napoleon built a 20-nation army of 600,000 soldiers and marched into Russia in June of 1812. When they came back out in retreat in December, there were less than 20,000 soldiers left. In Russia, they met General Mud, General Famine, and General Winter. The Russians chose not to fight to hold ground, instead drawing the French into the conditions of Russia by constantly running east. As they ran, they burned farms and destroyed food. When the French troops finally reached Moscow, they found it burning with small fires and nothing to eat. Napoleon waited for Alexander's surrender. But that surrender never came, and the French troops starved in the Russian winter for a month before general retreat was ordered. 1,000 miles of guerrilla attacks and Cossack violence met the French troops on their run back to Paris. The other European powers smelled Napoleon's weakened position, broke alliances, and formed a sixth coalition to attack France. The coalition was fueled by 20 years of revenge against France. The biggest and final attack was Leipzig, which was also the largest battle in European history up till that point. The coalition troops entered Paris in 1814. Napoleon stepped down and was exiled to the island of Elba. Louis XVIII, Louis XVI's brother, was put back on the throne, which is the Bourbon Restoration, but they kept many of Napoleon's reforms, such as a centralized France and a restored church. Napoleon escaped Elba to a celebration of his loyalists, ran France for 100 days, tried to regain his power, but fell to the 7th Coalition at the Battle of Waterloo due to rain and poor planning, and was exiled to St. Helena.